I'm Sindhu from Deloitte, and I have with me Nitya to present on the topic VMware vCloud Director. We're going to cover the basic topics today. We are going to introduce what exactly cloud and cloud computing is, and then we'll move on with the introduction to vCloud Director, along with the capabilities, the architecture, security, the layered network, and the different benefits and features. And then we'll take you through a live demo deploying a server on vCloud Director. Let me start with a small question. Have you ever tried installing SAP on your laptop? Well, I'm sure you did, but I'm sure it's not a very good idea, because we don't get 100% server-oriented architecture in the first place, and definitely hampers the performance of the laptop. So that's the main reason why we go for the virtual server. We access a particular server and then install our SAP. Where exactly these servers come from? Well, from the past 40 years maybe, there has been several revolutions which have happened in information technology, the IT. Starting from the centralized computation introduced by mainframes, or the mobile computing, or the client-server architecture, which focused more on the low computation costs and powered more on the desktop and all that. And as I mentioned, the mobile computing, where you can access the applications anywhere and anytime on a handset or a mobile phone. And then came up the concept of cloud computing. What exactly a cloud is? I'll put it in very simple terms. A cloud can be considered as a chunk of data. Basically, it's an infrastructure maybe which consists of different CPUs, different memory resources, and different equipment, where we can extract that particular data and create servers for us. What do you guys believe in? Does business drive technology, or technology drives business? Well, it's a very controversial topic basically. But then, right now, let me stick to business driving technology. For example, let's take a Thanksgiving week, where the company sales go up on the peaks. And obviously, the company will need more and more servers to accommodate those requests, right? Is it advisable to have all those servers throughout the year? Definitely no. It's just wastage of resources and wastage of hardware. That is when cloud computing came into picture, which is an on-demand computing tool. When cloud computing can be defined as a computing technology, which more or less can be said as an on-demand extraction, and it's just like pay as you go. Like how much ever you use, that's what you pay for. That's it. What's the first thing which comes into your mind when you talk about cloud? It's the Amazon cloud, right? The Amazon cloud, it was one of the leading cloud industries earlier, and now came up the VMware. VMware has introduced this new technology called the vCloud Director. Right now, it's one of the global leaders, having about more than 190,000 customers and 30,000 partners which are dependent on the VMware solutions. The cloud computing is basically concerned with the infrastructure as a service. We know the different service models of cloud computing, right?
You said that the example that you're taking is the Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah,
You're taking the example of the Thanksgiving weekend where a
yeah.
company might need additional hardware, and they go for the cloud computing. But how much time would it take to set it up? I mean, I know that Thanksgiving is in the next week, and I have to move all my data to the cloud. How much time does it take?
Well, cloud, we have to request, right? Already the cloud has all the servers. But building a server using that particular cloud is very easy.
No.
It just happens in a
My
few
business
minutes.
is in a separate server, right? All my data is in a different server. So if I need for 1 week some kind of a different server, to which my business has to be routed.
So you want to link all your servers to that particular place?
Yeah,
and you say they're
that's
not
the example.
connected.
Right? I mean, that you said like during the Thanksgiving weekend, to accommodate the extra load,
Yeah.
we can use the solution.
But I meant like, maybe a fresh data, something like that.
I think of it like you have a transition from your in-premise to cloud. Yes, it could be a bigger exercise, but once you are in cloud, if you want to scale up or scale down, depending on the seasonal activities, it becomes very easy, and that's what I think she meant. So let's say Thanksgiving weekend come, you can scale up and scale down when you want to come back. But if you are moving from on-premise to cloud, yes, there are a lot of considerations, a lot of checks, and a lot of thinking which will go before.
When we scale up or scale down, initially if I have consumed, let's say for example, 100 GB, and if I want to scale up, it means that I have to load the data. I mean, how quickly is it? That's what it is.
So here, so there are like multiple layers, right? You have the database layer and then you have the application layer. So this VMware, what they're talking about, it's about the application server. You are going to have more application servers, which is going to access this probably the same database. Okay. So
Get into the details of that in the further slides actually. And
Actually, that was just an example of cloud that she was giving.
Yeah, not exactly the VMware.
It has something to do with the vCloud director, and it's just a cloud computing management tool.
I mean, just one word related to that is elasticity. Okay.
yeah, the faster you function, you get credit card number, the quicker you get the expense.
Okay.
Thank you. And moving on to the types of clouds. Basically, the deployment models are dependent on the type of cloud, where exactly the cloud infrastructure is being hosted. We have basically four types of clouds: the public, private, community, and hybrid. The picture says it all. In the first one, as you can see, the private cloud is limited to a particular organization. Say for suppose the private cloud of Deloitte. Only the Deloitte users within Deloitte are able to access those servers. And it's being hampered to the other users outside the organization using that firewall. And the public cloud, as it is shown, it's just an external cloud, also known as, and it can be accessed by all the people publicly. And hybrid cloud is nothing but a private cloud which can be accessed by other users as well. Say for example, you want to access Deloitte servers sitting at home. How do you do that? You connect to the Deloitte servers using a VPN, right? That's a network which you connect to access the Deloitte servers. That exactly, you can correlate that with the with the hybrid cloud. Community cloud is nothing but two or more organizations having a common cloud and sharing that particular cloud. Well, mostly now we are going to deal with the hybrid and private clouds because the VMware vCloud director deals with these two clouds in particular. Moving on, vCloud director is a VMware incorporated computing tool basically. It's majorly you can see as an interface wherein you can do several activities like deploying servers and administer the servers, monitor them and several things. And it's, as I informed earlier, it's used for private and hybrid clouds. And talking about the capabilities of vCloud Director, what exactly it does, we can just deploy servers in minutes of time. Like we have several templates within a vCloud Director. We can migrate those are being migrated from other data centers, and within just a click or two, you can deploy a server just in few minutes of time. That's the major advantage. And then you can administration of vCloud and monitoring the different instances of the servers which we have deployed and checking the logs, that is any errors happen while deploying or any mistakes that has happened, we can revert back and check it. And then storing the template catalogs. Catalogs are nothing but a collection of virtual machines or those instances, those servers, so that using those particular templates, these servers are being deployed. I'll be showing more about it during the live demo. Nitya will take you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'll be talking about the vCloud architecture, and as you can see, it's a very simple diagram. But before I move on to this, I'd also like to tell you that vCloud Director is a product of VMware, and there are other products as well, like your vSphere and vCenter chargeback. Now, as you can see on the extreme right there, you can see a cell with ESXi hosts and a vCenter and a vCenter database. Now, that is your vSphere, your VMware vSphere. And we need to know about this because our vCloud Director, you could say, resides on the vSphere. As you can see, the vCenter, what that does is it takes resources, basically memory. When I say resources, I mean computing, storage, and networking resources. It takes those resources and provides it to the vCloud Director. Your ESXi host or the Enterprise Server XI host is nothing but a hypervisor. It acts like an interface between your physical servers and your virtual machines which are present on the vCloud Director as instances. And then you have a vCenter database where the resources are actually shared. Then over here you can see the vCloud Director server instances, and there's a Cloud Director database as well. For end users to access the vCloud Director, we need client interfaces. And as you can see, you have a vCloud Director REST API here and a vCloud Director web interface here. Now the vCloud Director REST API has many unique features. It is actually pure virtual in the sense that it completely divides your virtual machines where your virtual layer lies from your physical servers. So you will actually have no idea about the physical information or the number of CPUs that have been allocated or the memory, because there's a clear-cut division. Now, what I'd also like to say is the vCloud Director also has some logic constructs. Now these are called the virtual data centers. They're nothing but centers which contain resources, computing resources and storage resources. And there are two different types of data centers, virtual data centers. One is the provider virtual data center and the other is the organization virtual data center. Your provider virtual data center, it basically is a collection of all your resources, either from the particular vSphere cluster that it's associated with, or even other data stores. And your organization virtual data center, you could say, is a subset of your provider virtual data center. It takes its resources from the provider virtual data center. It's just a separate unit of the provider virtual data center, and it's like an allocate. Some resources are allocated to the organization data center. Now, usually when you talk about virtual machines and virtual servers or the vCloud Director, there's always a question that rises in your mind, and you think, is there actually physical space somewhere? Is there a physical server somewhere where you take all these resources from? So this simple diagram is used to explain that. You can take your hardware, say a storage area network, or all your physical resources, or a physical server is available here. And this is where your virtual machine lies. And this is your application. You can have any software on your application, such as SAP or any other software that you would like, or as per your client requirements. What we need to see here is the hypervisor, which acts like a connector, as I told you before, between the physical hardware and your virtual machines. It acts like an interface, and we use the enterprise server XI hosts for that. Now, we would also all like to know how secure the vCloud Director is. Before moving on to what the solutions for the security are, I'd like to tell you about the threats that the vCloud Director faces. So basically there are two threats. One is internal threats due to multi-tenancy. Now when I say multi-tenancy, what I mean is there's a particular cloud and there's another cloud. Now because we're using virtual resources, more often than not these resources are shared. They're shared, and so you always have this threat that users from another cloud may try to access some particular cloud of another organization, or get their hands on some classified information or some secure data. But the thing is, to overcome this particular threat, we have lots of virtualization layers, as I've told you, between the physical and the VM machines. So usually there is no physical information about the hardware given to the virtual machine user. He may have all sorts of rights, like different administration users have different rights. Like one particular user may have rights to the VMware instance, one may have rights to the VMware vCenter, one may have rights to the database. So there's also a threat that these people can exploit the access that they have and use it to obtain unauthorized access. So in order to overcome this, we have a virtualization layer. Like you can see, we have the VMware vSphere, then we have the VMware vCenter, and we have a VMware vShield Manager as well. I'll be talking about it in a few minutes. And besides the internal threats, we also have external threats. And for this, we need very secure hosting. basically external threats are such as users from the internet or from the web trying to access some particular cloud through APIs or through the vApp services or through web console. Web console is written in Adobe Flex. Now for this particular thing, we have this component that the vCloud director gives us, which is called the vShield Manager. It's mainly used for security purposes. It has to be installed separately along with the vCloud director. And it has lots of apps under it, like the vShield app with data security, vShield app Edge Point, and vShield app N. Now these things, mainly what they do is they remove antivirus in the first place, and they also provide firewalls for your hypervisor to make it more secure, and they store sensitive data separately, and they also have network and gateway services to protect it.